Okie dokie, so this is the 3D printing project C, or the 3D printer setup. And there are 3 parts where we're going to take, and we're going to set them up in Cura and use them or prepare them for the 3D printer. So first thing you're going to do is go to the assignment, download each of these 3 parts. So we've got the cone, the tire, and the gas tank. So we've got kind of a little car theme going on here. And I'm going to open these up. So right here I've got, these are already opened. Goes down with the gas tank, the cone, and the tire. So we're going to take all 3 of these pieces, these parts, and we're going to put them into the same print bed. So first things first is I'm going to take these files from Inventor. I'm going to go File, Export, CAD Format, and then down here where it says File Type, Save as Type, I'm going to go to STL File and say Save. And mine already exists because I've already done it, but I'll just say, sure, why not? Saved it. So now that I've got that done for that one, I'll do the same process for the cone and for the gas tank. So for the cone, I'm going to go File, Export, CAD Format, change it to an STL file, second to the bottom, and click Save. And I've already done it, so I'll just hit Cancel. Again, gas tank, File, Export, CAD Format, STL file, Save, and we're good. Okay, so now we're going to have to open up Cura. So Cura is down here in the bottom left corner. This is how you find it. Just type in Cura, and it'll look like this app right here. And I'll click on it, open it up. It's possible your version may be a little bit more up to date. They're always doing more updates on the slicing software. Also, don't worry if it takes a while for it to open. That's kind of normal. It takes about a good full minute for this to open. Allow access if it asks. And in here, it's going to be, when the first time you open it, it's going to ask you a whole bunch of stuff. If it asks for like an email and all that kind of stuff, you can just skip it. And eventually it's going to say, what kind of printer do you want to use? And you're going to click on an area that says Add Non-Networked Printer. It'll be kind of a gray bar down the middle. And there's 2 main printers we have in our classroom. When you add a printer, so it looks like this. So add a non-networked printer, hit the down drop, and we have Ultimaker 2 Plus. That's one of them that we have. So you can select that one and click Add. That one has the 0.8 nozzle, so it prints faster, but it doesn't print as much detail. The other one we have, all the black ones that are on the shelves, are in the Creality family, Creality 3D. Hit the down drop, and these ones are called Creality Ender 3s. Technically they're 3S1s, but Cura doesn't actually have the newest software for that one, so the closest thing is this, and so far it seems to be compatible and works just fine. So I'll click Add, and it's going to show you this. These are the bed sizes and like how tall it can be. So it can be that wide, that deep, and that tall. And all of these should be just fine. These are all the same for our machines. Extruder one, it's going to ask what are the nozzles and things like that. Don't have to worry about it. Just click Next, so you don't need to change any of the settings. Notice how when I changed the printer, the print bed changed in here. So I went back to the Ultimaker. It would look like that. So kind of cool. And if I'm using the Ultimaker, I want to make sure that up here I change my nozzle size to 0.8 for our classroom. If you're using the Ender, we want to make sure it's at 0.4, which is actually the standard nozzle size. Okay, so I'm going to open up the files, and mine will be under IED, 3D print setup. I've got my STL file here, and I can open these one at a time or all 3 at the same time. If I highlight all of them, I can do all 3. I'm just going to do one. I click Open, and notice that the cone is at a weird angle. It's sideways. So I designed that on purpose so that you'd have to fix it. So right now, everywhere you see red, and I'm orbiting by right-clicking and holding to kind of orbit around. Anywhere that you see red, it's going to need support material, or kind of a scaffolding. And you want to avoid having support material as much as possible, because it's just more material and it's hard to get rid of it. So we're going to rotate this. I'm going to click on it. I'm going to use this. These are a bunch of tools. So this one changes the position or move. This one will change the scale, so how large or small it is. This is the rotate one. You can mirror parts. I'm actually not totally sure what this one does. I guess you can play around with that one. So different types of meshes, I guess. And then support blocker. So if you want to get rid of support in some areas, you can use that too. We're just going to focus on these top three up here right now. I'm going to go rotate. I'm going to bring it over like that. Turn it 90 degrees and drop it like that. That is a great way to do it. I can also Control Z if I want to fix things or undo things. There's also a cool thing here that's like lay flat. That'll make it lay down flat. Another way is I can do this that says select face and align to build plate. So if I click that one and then I just click a bottom surface, come on, it should. Oh, well, didn't do a very good job on that one, so we're just gonna undo that. So I'm just gonna use the manual rotation. Click. Whoa, 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 whoa. There we go. Cool. So now that I've got that, I'm going to open up the next piece, which was, we'll do the tire next because it's a little bit more simpler. And lucky for me, that one's pretty much right where I want it. If I needed to move it, I can select it and use the move button. I can move it kind of anywhere on the bed I'd like. I'm just going to put it right next to it. And then I'm going to get the gas tank, so I'll say open. Gas tank, open that file, and notice it's at a weird angle like that. Technically that orientation would be okay, but notice how it's a lot smaller than the other pieces. And let's say I wanted to make it bigger. So I'm going to click on it, and I'm going to scale it up. So I'm going to make this twice as large. I'm going to type in 200% and hit enter. So now it's a lot bigger. But it's going through that object, which is bad. So I'm going to need to relocate this or rotate it. Well, both. First I'm going to rotate this so it's standing straight up. Oops. 90 degrees. Looks good. But I'm going to have to put a whole bunch of support material underneath this, the kind of the nozzle thing. So I'm going to move the tire, or this. I guess I can move this too. Switch this over there. Put this over. Ooh, come on, right there. I'm going to check to make sure that I'm not overlapping anywhere. And usually you want to keep the parts as close together as possible. That just helps reduce the travel time for the 3D printer. The closer things are together, the less time it spends going from like back and forth, back and forth. It's kind of like when you're grocery shopping, it's easier to kind of plan out like, okay, I'm going to make this line rather than, you know, kind of just sporadically go around the store and spend a lot of time walking. So that is looking pretty good. So if I go over here, I can hit the down drop, and these are a bunch of different settings. This is the infill density, so that's how much material is on the inside. Right now it's saying 20%, so it's only 20% its maximum density. If I go 100%, it means it's solid all the way through. So that's really, really, really dense. We rarely go that high. Most of the time we keep it under about 40%. 20 is pretty standard and is great for most things. If I go over here to support material and click that, what that's going to do is it's going to generate a support scaffolding for this nozzle and probably the handle as well. And then adhesion plates, what that does is it creates like a raft or like a lily pad that this stands on to make it to help it from keep it secure so it doesn't fall off the build plate as it's printing. So if I go over here and click slice, what that's going to do, it's going to take the whole object, it's going to cut it into a whole bunch of little slices at this depth right here, or each layer at 0.2 millimeters. So this looks like it's going to take 5 hours and 54 minutes, or pretty much 6 hours. And then just for fun, I'm going to show you what happens if I do this at 100% and slice. It's going to take much longer. Slicing. So 6 hours and 58 minutes. So that added about 2 hours, well, actually only about an hour, which is not as bad as I thought. But if I were to go over here and change the print to the Ultimaker, and I did the same thing, 100% support and adhesion, and sliced it, because it's a 0.8, it's going to be quite a bit faster. We lose a lot of the detail quality, so it's quite much faster, 2 hours and 38 minutes, but it won't look nearly as good as the no, not the Ultimakers, the Enders. So anyway, when you're done, you'll click this part right here after you've inserted a USB to save to removable drive. I don't have one in right now, so it just says save to disk. But that is it for the assignment for today's activity. And the last bit is just taking a screenshot. You can either go down here and type in snipping tool, or if you have it saved to your bar like I do, right here I can just open that up. I'm going to click, here's my snipping tool, I'll click new, and then just click and drag over that. Save this somewhere, and then just, oh, sorry, I want to save it with the print time available, so I'll say new. I'm going to highlight everything so I can see the print time, and that's what I want to turn in right there. Okay, and hit save, submit it, and you are done.